Have you been looking for a way to stay focused on your goals and grow your MSP? Accountability groups from RocketMSP can help. We offer weekly accountability sessions that meet online with a group of your peers. Your success begins with accountability. Go to www.rocketmsp.io to join your accountability group today. In part one of this, we talked about kind of like the company background. You know, we talked about music and all kinds of fun stuff. And we even talked about support and development and all that. But now we should talk about some technical stuff. So, let's talk about data. So when we as MSPs sign up for HoneyCRM, you know, you're going to say, why don't you import all of your contacts, you know, upload a CSV, yada, yada, yada. So, or if, you know, we can connect it with Autotask and ConnectWise, right? So, so you might just be able to do an import from one of the PSAs.
That's correct.
So when we do that, you're going to get what I think is PII, personally identifying information. So you're going to get name, address, phone number, email address, and whatever else people keep in their PSAs. I know some people, you know, when they're using their PSA like a CRM, because why have multiple products, they will put all kinds of stuff in there about each end user, like kids' names, anniversary dates, birthdates, just so that way they can have a conversation with that end user and make it sound like they care. And they do, but there's, you know, sometimes hundreds or thousands of end users, so you got to keep track of everything, right? So where's all of that stored?
So we use Microsoft Azure servers, and we use them, you know, of course, have different places where they reside. Just, of course, for like, you know, just backup and data recovery purposes. So, we use them, and we follow all of their compliances that, you know, they have as Microsoft. So that makes that, you know, staying compliant pretty easy. But we also have the advantage of just as far as security goes and keeping your data safe. Combined about almost 60 years from all the founders of TriDigital and also Honey, same founders, that have cybersecurity and just MSP experience. They've worked in MSPs, just been in the industry, have experience, and we're always in front of information like that. That's, you know, things are always changing. We're always having to adapt, and we're able to, you know, have a big advantage there, just to be able to always be in front of that information, so we can make those adaptations just proactively, right?
Excellent. So because you're in Azure, you've got, you know, multiple data centers, and you're probably doing some type of disaster recovery, backups, and setting up redundancy and all that. So even if this entire Azure site, like in, we'll call it New Jersey, goes down, you can pick it up in Chicago or one of the other ones.
Yeah, exactly. They have them all over the place. I wish I knew exactly which ones. I think their biggest data centers in California, but yeah, they're all over the place.
And I just want to, before we go much farther, I want to clarify, guys, that Andrew is, at the end of the day, business development. So he's a sales guy, right? So I'm going to be asking him some technical questions. I was nice enough to warn him what some of these questions were, so that way he could get the answers for some of these, okay? Because I don't want to make him look or make HoneyCRM look like a, you know, bad person, bad company. Usually, no. All right. So, but you know, when we talk about all this data, we also got to talk about the fact that you have, customers, MSPs that are possibly all over the globe, right? You don't just work with people in the United States.
Correct. Yeah. I think we're in 29 countries right now.
That's amazing. So with that, do you do you offer like data sovereignty? So for example, if somebody in EU doesn't want or can't have their data living on a server outside of the EU, can you guarantee that type of stuff?
We do not actually. The EU is probably one of the places that is the most challenging right now because of things like that. They have very strict compliance laws over there. So we do have some users over there, but yeah, we don't have that option for them now.
Okay. Is that something that you guys will eventually pursue?
Yeah, I mean, eventually we're going to give, if you wanted to even host it on your own server, eventually we'll give you that capability. You can even host it on your own.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, but it's just not available right now.
That's very awesome. Sticking with the data, one last one that I can think of. And for those of you watching live, feel free to pop in some questions. Don't be shy. So how do you test your backups? Because, I mean, you guys make backups, right?
Yeah. So I actually asked this question to the devs whenever I saw that this would be possibly a topic of conversation. They told me a very simple answer. They said that Microsoft, with whatever we have with them, whatever plan and we have with them, it automatically includes that, and it's just constantly backing up data. And and they also said that at any point, anytime, any day, if we wanted to, if we completely went offline and we wanted to get back online, we'd be able to in real time just get all the data that we had up until the point that the servers went down or the site went down. So with my, I hope, yeah. So that was the answer that I got because I didn't know what to answer.
So that's good, but that unfortunately only answers half of the question. So a good MSP doesn't just back up the data. Mm-hmm. They will test a restore to verify that the backups are working because they can actually restore the data. Because there have been too many times where we back something up and we don't actually test restore. And then when an emergency happens, the backups, oh crap, they don't actually work. Right. Like it's backing up data, but for whatever reason, it doesn't have integrity, or the restore process hangs or breaks or whatever, right? Like there's so many reasons a backup recovery won't work. So that's the part that I'm asking about.
Well, again, you warned me about this technical question. I wish I knew a better answer and I was more on that side of things. It's honestly not a question I really get a lot whenever I'm talking about Honey. Actually, I don't know if I've ever gotten it. So yeah, apologies for not being more prepared for that. But
I get it, man. I'm thorough.
Which you should be. I mean, if you were an MSP at one point, well, you still have an MSP, right? But or I think you do. I don't know. But I know that at one point you were running your own MSP, and that's one thing about MSPs is that they're very, very thorough. And I'm surprised that question hasn't come up for that reason, But there's all sorts of questions. I'll hear new questions that I've never heard before, probably every week, and I'm just like, that's a good one. I'm going to find out about that because sometimes it's very technical, and that's just not my nature.
No problem. All right. Now let's talk about some compliance type stuff. Will you sign a BAA?
We do not. We don't sign that.
Okay. But you know what a BAA is?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotta ask.
Yeah.
All right.
It came up before with somebody that, has to follow HIPAA compliances and stuff. So, yeah.
So, and I think the real reason that you don't sign a BAA is because we should not be storing EPHI in a CRM for our MSP practice. Does that sound about right?
I agree. I mean, this platform is meant to do marketing and prospecting, and you shouldn't keep any sensitive client, like documents, like any patient documents in there. And even if there's a feature in Honey that allows you to keep all the back and forth communications, but if you had to go as far as even cutting that option off, so that you don't, release or just have any sensitive information that they gave to you in an email, then that's something you might have to do, right? Because we still do have MSPs that do healthcare that use Honey. They just, I guess they don't see it as a problem. And I don't know why that would be, but we definitely have some that use it.
Okay. So no BAA, that's fine. And what about like your data centers? We're obviously if it's Azure, they're pretty dang compliant. Bacon, avocado, and arugula, really, Anthony? Not. Yeah. I got some interesting people that watch these. Let me tell you. So the data centers themselves are compliant because it's Azure. Is there anything that you guys like should be doing in addition to Azure when it comes to like, ISO 27001 or SOC or any of those types of compliance to make MSPs happy?
Yeah. So I think this will be a simple and short answer for me as well, just because I don't have super in-depth knowledge about all these things, but I do know that we follow all these compliances. We follow, and again, like I said, we have the ability to just have, or we have the luxury of having people that have been in an industry for a combined almost 6 years. Our founders have been, so they are able to stay compliant with even anything that comes up that's new. But we don't have, the thing that's missing for us is that we had the proof. I would love to just show you, right, rather than tell you, but we don't have the independent audit that has been done yet to give us the proof, right? I think that just hasn't come yet because we are at such an early stage of our development. And this is, like I said, 2 months ago is whenever we started just being under Honey only, right? So the thing I will say is that we follow all of those compliances, and nothing's as good as just having the written proof and everything. But yeah, I can tell you that you wouldn't be out of compliance using Honey unless you're storing like client HIPAA stuff on there.
Unless the MSP is doing it wrong. Got it.
Yeah.
And hey, I hate to say it, but there are quite a few MSPs doing it wrong. It's just how it goes. And again, for those of you that are like popping in late, this is Andrew Crespo-Roman, and he is business development for HoneyCRM. He's not a technical person, so he's answering these questions to the best of his ability. And we already spoke about kind of like the company history and that type of stuff. And right now we're talking about some more technical details. So let's talk about security. Do you offer 2FA or MFA for us to log into Honey?
We do not. We don't have that.
Why not?
Just has not been developed. It has come up as a request before, but not more times than I can count on one hand from what I've spoken to. And yeah, it's just not something we have. It's something else that we want to have for sure, especially once we just really, really roll things out and we start actually doing marketing for our software. Like I said, we grew organically up until this point. But once we start getting more and more users, it's just going to be something that I know is going to come on more and more. And we already have it on the roadmap. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say, it better be on the roadmap because, I mean, even MailChimp has 2FA, man.
I agree.
And I think at this point, there is absolutely nothing wrong with what I like to call paranoid level security.
Mm-mm.
It's just, yeah. I mean, it's with everything getting hacked these days, everything under the sun, you just can't be too careful. So I hope that with that being on your roadmap, I hope it's like close to the top of the list.
It is for sure. It's something that's happening this year, along with the other things that are happening this year. So yeah, it's coming.
I also think it would be super neato if you guys would work on single sign-on, so that way it's able to integrate with either Azure, Microsoft 365 platform, or with Google G Suite. I believe they can even do single sign-on. So if you did something like that, that would also help MSPs know that things are a little more secure.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to add in, like I said, every time that we hear a request, we add it, and it doesn't take much to actually make it to where it gets pushed even higher up on the priority list, right? And this counts as one. If I see any more in the comments, I'll count that as one too. So,
Excellent.
Just keep checking them off,
So for those of you in the comments section, Anthony, I did see your question. We are going to get to that. But if there's anything that you feel like they need to have when it comes to that security stuff, please pop that in there. 2FA is table stakes. I don't think I understand what that means.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. I don't understand it either.
Okay. I'm thinking he just means it's super important.
That's
maybe it's a poker term.
It's kind of the gist I got. We'll go with that.
Yeah. All right, but let's talk about the product itself. Like, with you developing this, yes, baseline for security, 100%, Anthony, 100%. With you guys developing this, have you developed this with kind of security at the forefront of your mind? So, for example, do you have an API?
Open API? No.
Yes. Okay. Do you have a closed API?
I mean, I don't even, is that the phrase?
I don't know. You definitely made sure it was an open one, so I wanted to ask about.
Yeah, well, that's the phrase I've heard, right? Hey, do you have an open user API? Do you have an open user API? I've heard that actually a lot in the last, I think just in the last about 6 months. I feel like I've heard it multiple times. So another thing, you just keep adding these things to the roadmap, but yeah.
Well, I would say that for now, I'm actually okay that you don't have an API, just because that's one more thing that can get hacked, right? So when you guys do build out that API, I think it is important to have one because, there are only so many things that you guys can integrate with at once. Right. But maybe we use some silly tool that we think is awesome, and we're right and you're wrong, right? So we would love to just API code some things and get the two talking. The thing with that though is,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say I agree. We're in a technical industry, obviously, and there's a lot of people that want to just make it more and more technical. They want to tie more things to it. So I think it's very much a thing that we should have just because of the industry that we're in alone, right? Just an option.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is not a security product, so I'm not going to ask about some of the other security things. So I think now is the best time for us to talk about pricing. If I want HoneyCRM and I'm a cheapskate and I think MailChimp is wonderful, how disappointed am I going to be?
I don't think you'd be very disappointed. I think some of the price points on MailChimp are much higher than the highest price point that we have. It just depends on the amount of contacts you want on MailChimp, right? So,
sure. So I get 2,000 for free.
Oh, you do? Yeah, I don't remember how their pricing structure was, but ours used to be kind of similar to where we priced by the amount of contacts you had. Just whenever we were very much just email marketing, but now that we have other things in there, we price it differently. So we price anywhere from $99 to $249 or $499. Those are our 3 tiers, and all of them have different features that are unlocked, based off of what tier you're in. And there's also users. So like on the very lowest tier, you get 1 user for free, and then it's just like $20 if you want to add another user. Any more users, $20 per user, and then the highest tier doesn't have any limit for users or contacts. None of them actually have limits for contacts anymore. You can upload as many contacts as you want into any tier.
Excellent. I'm just going to throw that up on the screen. He lied to you guys. There are 4 tiers. There's a free one.
Yeah.
There's a free one.
That is the best price. I don't know why I left that one out. So,
but let's talk about that for a second. A free tier, yeah, we'll give you HoneyCRM for free, but with 25 contacts. Like, really? Why bother?
Yeah, it's like for testing it, right? You can test it out.
like, there's the people that, like, if you'd give us, like, I don't know, 500 contacts, like, still not as many as MailChimp was giving away for free, right? But now we're talking about a solution that we're like able to dip our toes in, and then you're able to actually kind of captivate us, right? Because isn't that the goal? It's to, like, trick people into, like, staying with you. You want to be sticky. So
I don't know about tricking nobody, but I will say that we used to have
what MSPs do.
To each their own, man. But what I think whenever I talked to you like 2 years ago, I think whenever I first started with Honey, and at that point we still had the how many contacts you want to manage, pricing model and everything. And our free package, since we had just started, we wanted to just do something very enticing to get people to join, was 500 free contacts. And just like you said, 500. What we found with that was that most MSPs, especially that, just what we see, right? I mean, we see 3,000 of them. We don't see the hundreds of thousands that there is. They're not very good at having lists or gathering contacts or something. I don't know if it's because so many of them grew organically, so they didn't see the necessity for it, or sometimes they're just outdated. But we gotta make money too, right? We gotta run the business and make money. And whenever we had it 500, it was like most people wouldn't even use half of those contacts because they just didn't have them. So we put it at a point where it's still very affordable, $99 a month. It's month to month. It's not like it's like you're signing a year or something. You can get a discount if you sign for a year, but or if you sign up for a year. But yeah, 25 contacts should give you the feel for it. Just to manage, like just list segmentation and being able to send out campaigns and seeing how that works and stuff. But I will say we also have some trials that we run in Honey. So there's going to be one in May that we're doing. We're not going to actually do it for free, but we're making it to where you can try the pro out for the first month, at an 80% discount. And that'll just let you know whether you kind of like it or not. Within a month, you should get a really good feel for it. But it takes months to gather, data on top of data in a platform, of course. And yeah, you'll be able to try it out for the price of the lowest tier for the first month. You'll get an 80% discount for it'll be $4.99, and after that. But then you'll be able to determine, this is the right tool. Do I need all these things that come with the pro, or can I just downgrade or cancel altogether if it doesn't seem like the right fit for you, right? But that's going to be going on in May.
And obviously, I've got to play devil's advocate here with you, right? So
please,
I'm going to beat you up on price.
All right.
So when we look at this, I'm seeing, there's. I think you've got silly names, by the way. Warm up, contender, pro. Come on.
You don't like them? You don't like them?
I'm not a sports guy. No, they're perfectly fine. I'm just giving you a hard time. So, when I look at between free and warm up, like the only difference between these two is with warm up for $100 a month, I can now have 26 contacts.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Or thousands, right?
Or thousands.
Yeah.
But I can have 26. And then when I see, okay, the next level up, contender. So now we're talking $250 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And now we get 2 extra features, limited marketing content, and a landing page builder, which isn't even out yet.
Right.
So you're charging us 2.5 times as much for right now limited marketing content.
Yeah. So let me explain to you what that means by limited, because on the pro package, let me just tell you what you get with the contender. So with the contender, you get ebooks, you get white papers, you get all of the email marketing templates, you get including graphical and non-graphical, and you get some MP4 videos that you could take and edit if you want. With the $4.99 with the pro, One of the main differences there is that we actually will build some landing pages for you. Like we will, since we still have the agency side, we will build landing pages for you. Like one a month basically is what it'll come out to. And then with the other bigger differences are obviously the features on the pro plan, but you don't get all the content. We just don't build the landing pages for you with the contender. But you get pretty much close to 90% of it, so you can still get a lot of content in there. So it's intellectual property at the end of the day, right? You're able to use it if you sign up for our services or for our plans, but at the end of the day, it's hundreds of pieces of intellectual property we're releasing to you. So that's where that price comes in.
Okay. And with this, so I just want to be clear. So you keep mentioning the landing pages that you'll build if we do the $4.99. So when this gets launched, we will be able to build our own landing pages. We won't need you. No offense.
Yeah, that's correct. So that marketing content thing we'll be able to take the limited off. You know what I mean? So you'll get just the marketing content we have available. Because right now there's templates for everything. You'll even have templates for landing pages whenever that's launched.
I would honestly get rid of the word limited and add another item in the bullet list that says like one custom built landing page a month, and put X's all the way through until you get to pro. Because when I see limited here, I'm thinking like, okay, so they're going to give us like 3 email templates, and I got to pay this one to get all the white papers and all the other stuff that's listed on the website.
Gotcha. It doesn't give you the impression that you'd be getting hundreds of pieces of content, like I just said. Yeah, it really doesn't. This makes me feel like I'm getting a limited amount of marketing content. I feel like a landing page that you guys are building, custom built, is not this, and it's not this either. I think it's somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see what you're saying, man. It's good feedback.
So, what are marketing plans?
So, marketing.
I know what a normal marketing plan is. What's your marketing?
Well, I'll show you some of that later when we get into the demo. But I'll just explain it to you for now. So, a marketing plan is just taking a thread of emails. So, instead of just taking like one template or something, you take a template that has, say, maybe like 4 emails for a whole month. And then you'll be able to go to your calendar inside of Honey, just pick the date you want them to start, and then it'll schedule the rest out for the dates, that you have. Like if it's like a week apart for each one, it'll set it up for those dates. And then the only things left to do on the marketing plans depends on which ones you're using. If you make, if you customize some of your own, like from the templates, you can have it be even more ready up front. But you should just have to sometimes link some white papers or some collateral, and then click schedule, and typically just be able to set up like a month's worth of marketing within anywhere from 10 to 15 or 20 minutes. So that's what a marketing plan is. It just makes it a lot easier, and it gives you a chronological order of campaigns rather than just having to tie a bunch of different templates together.
Okay. And journeys. If you just
journeys. Yeah, journeys is some people refer to them as drip. It just depends on the platform, but it's automation. So basically, you're sending out a marketing email. In this example, you'd be sending out a marketing email, and then you would tie some conditions to it. It would say, if they, in this case, open the email, then I want them to get this follow up. If they don't, I want them to get this follow up. Then you can tie automations to also your follow ups. And then you can tie things like if they do, go all the way down this path in this journey, then I want them to now get assigned to this sales rep, and the sales rep will get a notification that they've been assigned a lead. I want at this point in this journey, if they've gone this far, for them to get a call. So you assign a call to a sales rep, and then you can also do things like automatic lead qualifying, like automatically moving them into a list or a category. And that is more fitting because of the point that they're at with their marketing journey, and things like changing their statuses, to just like for funnel management, just so like at what point of the funnel that they're in, and yeah, just to name a few things. That's what journeys are, just automating your marketing and sales processes.
Okay, and premium support.
Yeah, so the premium support is since things like building landing pages for you will help you if you want to hook them up to your website, or just hook them up to a domain that you own, like a subdomain. we'll help you do that type of stuff. We also, with premium support, offer some training like for sales and just marketing best practices. We'll give you those type of things and those practices. We'll even like give you some of the resources we have. But with the premium support, it's much more of we're kind of helping you build your strategy, because you have what we believe is everything that you need. When it comes to like landing pages and everything, we're giving you all those things. You're not expected to have to go outside to get any of them, right? And we're helping you put a strategy together for all of them. Because like landing pages, I do think that's a I don't think you need to have them to have success for sure, but I think you'll have more success if like they're just in your whole marketing, strategy,
Got it. All right. Yeah. Now I see 3 features on here that are still coming soon.
Yeah.
Calling.
Well, yeah, there's 4 actually.
Well, we already talked about the landing page builder from the what's that one? The contender. So there's calling, texting, and a proposal builder.
Mm-hmm.
So calling and texting, I mean, are you basically saying that we're porting our phone number over to Honey?
Yeah, you can use your phone number and you can use it to text. You can use it to, you'll be able to track the text the same way you'd be able to track emails, just see if people took a call to action or opened it or anything. Cool thing with text is that it gets like 90% open rates, like just crazy high open rates, Email does not usually get that high. So with calling, you'll be able to just click a button on someone's profile, or just like on the table if you just have the table view, and you'll be able to click a button and it'll automatically log the call, of course. But you can also have it to where it'll record the call and transcribe it in the text, so you just have more detail as to what that call was about, and it's just the things that were talked about in that call.
And I'm sorry, I think I missed it. So are we porting our phone number over to you?
Yeah, you can use your phone number. You can just, I'm not sure. I don't know if it would be considered like an integration, but there's just somewhere where you can use your phone number to do the texting and the dialing, right?
Got it. Okay. So we may still need to pay for our phone service, but you're giving us the ability to use our phone number. So that way we don't have to use some funky number.
Yeah, exactly. And there's going to be a native system for dialing in Honey, but there should also be some integrations that you can do, like for just some of the main providers out there.
Okay. And proposal builder, is that just what it seems like it is, where we're using HoneyCRM to build a proposal to send to our client?
That's right. Yeah. The intention is just to be able to build a neat and just very professional looking proposal, and then also be able to send it out and have it get signed and then track back into Honey once it's all signed and everything. So that's the intention.
All right. And do you see yourselves making it to where it's like integrating with distributors and doing like Tech Data and Ingram and Synex and all that to pull current pricing? Or is it more just here's a way to build a proposal if you don't have one already?
That's a great question. I feel like I'd be revealing something that I told you I don't want to reveal just yet if I told you, but with one of the partnerships we have going on, you already said you had a hunch, right? So again, it's something that is not solidified yet. So, it's 99% of the way there. Just, don't want to jinx it. So yeah, you're probably going to have much more in-depth data than just being able to just build a proposal. It's very likely that'll happen because of a partnership we have going. So that's all I can say.
Okay. So I feel like that takes care of pricing and features. And I think the next thing that we should do is a demo. Now, for those of you that are just listening on the podcast, the best way for you to get to the demo is to watch this on YouTube, and it'll start at about the 1 hour, 2 minute mark. Hey, thanks for listening to part 2. Be sure to check back tomorrow for the next episode.